roles of variables. A variable represents a quantity that can vary. In an expression, a variable is a placeholder for a number. In an equation, a variable represents any number that is a solution of the equation. Examples: x equals 2, and let's replace it in our expression for x plus 5. In other words, 2 plus 5. So we have x plus 5 equals 7. And equivalent equations have the same solution set. Let's use the example v times t equals d. Well, let's say at your local freeway, whichever one's nearest to you. Let's assume the speed limit is 65. So our velocity v is 65. We're replacing the velocity with the 65. So we have 65 times t equals d. Do notice that this implies multiplication when you have a number next to a variable. So we have 65 times t equals d. And let's be aware that v is velocity, t is time in hours, and d is the distance you travel in the local freeway or nearby freeway. And do keep in mind that your local freeway, let's say that once again that the velocity is 65 miles per hour or mph. Do notice this is the constant. It won't change anymore unless you change the speed limit of your local freeway, but ideally it should not change anytime soon. So let's build a quick table for us. We have t, time, and d, miles. T is the replacement or representative of x, and d is the replacement or representative of y. And for instance, let's say you drive for 1 hour. Okay, so 65 times 1 gives you, well, 65. Driving for 1 hour gives you an equivalent of 65 miles driven. Now let's say you drive for 2 hours. 65 times 2 gives you 130. So driving for 2 hours gives you 130 miles. And likewise, let's try 3 hours. Driving for 3 hours straight gives us 195 miles driven. So do notice, velocity is a constant, time you select typically, and in this case we can only select typically positive values, and the distance is what we get, and each time it changes. So ideally t equals 65 times t would be our expression to get the miles. So we can call both of them variables. Do remember, variables means it varies, it changes in other words. So it looks like these are variables. T and D are our variables. How about the example? Let's redo the example real quick so it makes it easier and it's easier to understand. So x plus 5 is the original statement. So if x equals 2, well, let's replace the x with the 2. So that means 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 equals 7. So this is the idea for this example. It's intended to be written vertically rather than horizontally. It makes more sense vertically. To remember that equivalent equations have the same solution set, equations. Well, that means it has an equal sign. Expressions, on the other hand, do not have an equal sign. So be on the lookout for that. Difference between equations and expressions: equations have an equal sign, expressions do not have an equal sign.